Okay, let's talk about introducing yourself to the person. This is critical. You need to know their name and they need to know your name. Now, they might not remember your name, but you need to do your best to remember their name. Now, as you're watching the catchers out there and you see someone coming in and you're available and you raise your hand and the catcher gets that person to you and you're there with them, as you introduce yourself, get a smile on your face and put your hand out and say, "Hey, my name is David." Insert your name, of course. But my name is David. It's good to meet you. What's your name? And so they'll tell you their name. Now remember, you need to get that sunk into your brain. Your mind is going to be thinking about what I'm going to say next, but please focus on that name, because there's nothing sweeter to a person's ears than hearing their own name. So remember their name. And then what I like to do when I start with my introduction is I like to remind them of why they're there. Now, the catchers, when they're out on the street, or when they're out next to the sidewalk there, when they bring people in, what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to tell these people when they come in that they can register for this Harley, and it takes 3 minutes of their time, and that 3 minutes is going to be taken up by someone telling them the story of how God changed their lives. Well, a lot of times when the person comes into the tent, he hasn't heard that part about the 3 minutes, or it didn't sink in. So here's what I do with it. I put my hand out and say, "Hi, my name's David. What's yours?" "Well, John, it's really good to meet you. I'm glad that you came in. Did they tell you that on Saturday we're going to give that bike away?" Now, the person probably already knows that that bike's being given away, but they're going, yeah. And I'll say something, "Wouldn't it be great for you to ride away from Sturgis Rally on that bike?" "Yeah." All right? And they're thinking positively there. And then I asked them, I said, "Did they also tell you that it takes 3 minutes, and that's me telling you the story about how God changed my life?" And if they say, "Well, no, they didn't say that," or "Yeah, they did," then I basically know that they've given me permission to talk. All right? If they go, What? And I'll just explain to them again. Yes, we're registering people for this bike, but we're asking them to give us 3 minutes of their time so that we can share a story of how God changed our lives. Will you give me 3 minutes so I can tell you that story? And I just wait for them. If they say no, then usually at that point they turn and they head out of the tent. All right? If they say no, but there's no way they're going to leave the tent, they're going to register for that bike, don't worry. You don't have to be the tent police. You just say, "Okay," and you just take them up to the tent, or up to the counter, let them register, but when they leave, when you hand the card in, you just say, "They would not listen to my testimony. They would not listen to my story." All right? So don't worry about that if they will not listen and they're intent on registering. Just let them register. It's okay, but we won't put that card in the drawing, because they've got to listen to your story for 3 minutes. So, you're asking them the question of whether or not you can have permission to share your story with them. And so once you've got permission from them, then you know that you can share that story. So again, I walk up, "Hi, I'm David. What's your name?" "Well, John, it's really nice to meet you. Did they tell you that on Saturday we're giving that bike away to somebody from Sturgis here?" "Yeah, they did. Yeah, isn't that great? Wouldn't you like to ride away on that bike?" "Yeah, I'll bet you would. I would too, but they don't let me have that chance." By the way, when you came in, they told you that it was going to take 3 minutes of your time. Did they tell you that it's 3 minutes for me to tell you a story of how God changed my life? They didn't tell you that? "Oh, I'm sorry, John. Listen, John, would you be willing to listen to me for 3 minutes, tell you how God changed my life? Would that be all right with you?" And if he says yes, I start. If he says no, he probably at that point will leave. So that's the best way I know of to do the introduction, because what you're doing is you're finding out their name, they're finding out your name, you're getting them excited about the possibility of a bike, but you're also getting permission from them to share with them for 3 minutes your story. That's a good introduction.